Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the best linear settings to use here in this season. I've changed my settings a couple of times, but these settings I like specifically just for the purposes I'm going to share with you guys in this video. So if you guys are looking for the very best linear settings for this season, definitely stay tuned in the video because these settings are the very best and the settings that I would recommend for you guys to use. And real quick, before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys would like to enter this giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload and when I announce the winners every Friday. And lastly, make sure you guys put down your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account down in the comment section below, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. And lastly, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do, go down to the bottom right, hit on support a creator, type in my creator code, which is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator in the item shop. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I want to be sharing with you guys the linear sensitivity settings that I have that I think are really going to be great for a lot of players. And when it comes to any sort of sensitivity you guys have, there's going to be strengths and there's also going to be weakness of each sensitivity. So I want to show you guys specifically the strengths and also the weaknesses of the sensitivity and why I think it's a very good sensitivity to use in a lot of situations. And I think it's going to help you get a lot more wins if you guys use a sensitivity that is somewhat similar. So going into the sensitivity and all the settings that I have, I want to show you guys all the settings just because a lot of you guys are probably pretty curious on just everything that I have. So as far as the colorblind, I currently play on off, but if you guys wanted to, you can definitely play on the last one, the Trident. You can definitely play that on like a 10 if you want to. I personally play with it off just because in this season specifically, I noticed that they upped the brightness a little bit. I think just after the recent update, they lowered it. So if you notice on your shotguns and SMGs, it's not as bad as before. It used to be really, really bright. So depending on what, how your monitor or TV is, you might want to adjust accordingly. But going into my game settings, I do have the auto open door feature on. I have the auto sort consumables to the right. I also have that setting on as well. And I do have the confirm edit on release. If you guys don't have a setting on, you definitely want to, just because it feels really helpful, not having to constantly click confirm after all of your edits. And I do have the record replays setting off because it kind of messes with your FPS a little bit if you have it on. So you definitely want to make sure you have that setting off. And for my HUD scale, I play on 80%. So going into the sensitivities that I have for my linear settings and the sensitivities that I think are really conducive to help me winning a lot more games this season. So I play on a 2.5 for my building and editing and a 43% on my horizontal and vertical speed. Now, if the building and editing sensitivity is too high, which definitely is on the higher end, I would recommend like a 2.3 or maybe a 2.4. Anything in that range I think is a really good setting as well. And if that is too high, of course you can lower your sensitivity. But the reason why I'm playing on a 43%, literally just a week ago I was on like a 54 or like 52, and the reason why I lowered my sensitivity, and it's still important to note that currently here in Fortnite, the box fighting meta is the current meta, and if you want to be really good, you have to be very good at box fighting. But the reason why I lowered my sensitivity, the range in which I'm shooting from right here to where the bot is going to be a really big strong point of the sensitivity, because this sensitivity is going to be a little bit on the lower end, meaning you're going to have a lot more control than if you play on a higher sensitivity. And I felt like I was missing a little bit too many shots from this range, and I usually fight players from this range, from the distance I have here to like where the bot was. That's about the range I usually fight. And the one negative and one downside of a lower sensitivity like a 43% is if you're in a really close range situation and someone jumps over you, pretty much GG's, you're not going to be able to turn around very quickly, and you have to just bet on them missing their shot. So that's going to be the biggest weakness of the sensitivity. So if you're the type of player who's constantly like in the box and you're jumping over their head, they're jumping over your head, then you probably want to play on a higher sensitivity. But if you mostly challenge close range, but a little bit further back, I'm not talking like really far back, I'm talking just a little bit of distance between you and the other player, playing on a lower sensitivity could allow you to hit a lot more shots and be much more accurate at close ranges than, say, a higher sensitivity. So that's one of the biggest strengths and one of the weaknesses of a lower sensitivity. But based on my playstyle and how I play, playing on a lower X and Y sensitivity is going to be the move for me, because I just happen to like lower settings. Just I feel like I'm a lot more accurate and a lot more controlled with it. Even though I play on higher frames, I think a lower sensitivity for all players is going to be a really good way to improve your aim and hit a lot more shots. And so going into my ADS sensitivity, I play on 11% on both, and I also play on a 0.04 look damping time. I decided to play on a little bit more of a look damping time because I wanted to play on just a slightly higher of an ADS sensitivity, because it's going to help me a lot more when it comes to mid-range and also being able to track players who maybe move very quickly. So if they're using a bounce pad, or, something along those lines, or they're maybe coming off of a rift, I'm going to be able to track them a lot easier on this sensitivity, but with a little bit of a look damping time to help still when it comes to making smaller analog stick adjustments, really just to help me out a lot in that regard. So that's why I decided to put on a little bit of a look damping time and to slightly raise my ADS sensitivity, because before I was on a 10%. So a little bit of change for me, but I think it's a really good thing to try out. And look damping time could really be a big improvement and help you guys aim tremendously better if used correctly. You don't want to have it on like too high. You don't want to play on like a 20 or 30% for your look dampening time, but playing on just a slight one, maybe like 0.04, 0.08, maybe even like 0.10 at most, you can really see big improvements for your aim when it comes to mid and long range. And I really wanted to be focusing on improving my mid-range accuracy. My mid and close range is kind of like what the meta is this season, and I've been trying to improve my aim and improve my playstyle in those areas. And I feel like just raising my ADS sensitivity a little bit is going to give me that boost when it comes to that mid-range gunfights. So that's why I decided to increase my ADS sensitivity. As far as the bomb settings, I still play on a 9% dead zone. You want to play on as low dead zones as you can. Makes everything feel super responsive and really nice. So I would recommend playing on the lowest dead zones that you can. And then I also have the foot controller setting off because it adds input delay to your controller, so you don't want that setting on at all. And of course, I want to show you guys the binds that I have. Now, I made a video, I think just about 5 days ago, maybe it was a week ago, on the best settings to have if you play with non-paddle or non-claw. Definitely give that video a look. Like I said, I made it about a week ago. But these are the settings that I have, and I play with 4 paddles. So my upper left paddle is my toggle pickaxe. That's what I use to pull my pickaxe. My upper right paddle is what I use to edit. My bottom left paddle is what I use to jump. And then my bottom right paddle is what I use to place my bounce pads or my traps, which I have bound to the B button. And as you can see in my build controls, on the B button, it is the trap, picker, place, / interact. And that's how I just place my bounce pads or whatever I have. And as far as my edit controls, I have my confirm on the left trigger. And then on the right stick is what I have for my reset. These have been the most comfortable edit buttons for me. Of course, if you guys play with non-paddle, non-claw, you probably want to have something like your right bumper as your reset and then left trigger as your confirm. I found that to be very comfortable as well. Pretty much all the settings that I've ever used, I use confirm as my left trigger, and has been really comfortable, and I highly recommend for you guys to use it. So those are going to be all of the best linear settings that I think you guys should use here in this season. Like I said, the biggest change that I made was as far as my X and Y sensitivity. I was on like a 52, but I decided to lower it down to like a 43, and the reason for it, when it came to that specific range, when it came to hitting my shotgun shots and my SMG shots, it really gave me the boost that I needed to hit my shots. And of course, knowing that based on my playstyle, I know that if I'm ever in like a super close range situation, if someone jumps over my head, I'm not going to be able to turn around very quickly. So knowing that, I don't really put myself into too many situations in which that would happen. So of course, with every sensitivity, there's going to be strengths and weaknesses. So just knowing that, I'm able to adjust my playstyle and win a lot more games. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching the video, and if you guys could, make sure you guys do drop a like, make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload. And as well, I do live stream every single day here on the channel at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you guys will get a notification when I go live on this channel. But with that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching the video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.